Would also appreciate if you would subscribe, rate, hopefully with 5 stars, and review the podcast on iTunes. You can find us there as well as on Stitcher and Overcast. You can follow us on Twitter at WasInACult, on Facebook at I Got the Hell Out, and on Instagram at I Got the Hell Out with an underscore after each word. You can contact us through our website at IGotTheHellOut.com.
Hi guys, it's Deb.
And Laura.
And it's another episode of I Got the Hell Out. You know what today is?
No.
It's Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, that's right. I don't give a shit.
I don't think most of them, of the United States cares, because I think this is the one time, though, everybody hates the Pats.
I was just going to say, as long as they lose, that's all I care about.
I would really like both teams to lose, but that's not a possibility. And that's all we have to say about the possibility. And shame on you, Tom Brady, for being a cheater.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that piece of shit Tom Brady.
I wouldn't go that far because, that's kind of slanderous. He was probably talked into it and paid off. Who knows? Remember, Laura, money buys everything in this world.
I know. That's still a piece of shit. Moving
on. Hint. Oh, I'd like to give a shout out to the Killa No Filla. That's Killa and Filla.
Oh, the podcast. Yeah. What about them?
A couple people found us. They gave us a shout out and recommended us listening to us. I thought that was kind of cool. And I read through that bottle of Dr. Bronner's with Marie and Brother Bob and Kim.
Did you need a magnifying glass for all that small lettering?
I need glasses to see far, but I was reading for everybody in the room and we were just dying. So I'm not really going to go over any of that here and now because we got a bunch of interesting stuff to cover.
Oh yeah, we do.
But even if you don't want to spend the money for it,
go find it at the supermarket.
Go find it at the store and sit and read it and just have a good giggle. You'll have tears coming out of your eyes. And some of it, I swear, Laura, you have to as you read it, it's like in a sing-song voice. It's like a song almost that doesn't rhyme.
Oh, it sounds like you guys were having a lot of fun.
We always have fun. So,
oh my God.
I would love to seriously give a shout out to Candace Payne, Payne. Do you know who she is?
No.
She is the woman who put up 80 homeless people in Chicago during the deep freeze for several days.
Oh, get out. I did not hear about that.
Yeah, she put up 80 homeless people in a hotel for a few days while the deep freeze was going through Chicago. And I just love that, somebody says, I can help. I can't help everybody.
But I can help.
But I can help somebody.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm going to post a picture of her.
That is awesome.
You should always remember the people who do the good, not the people who do the bad.
And because there's plenty of those.
Exactly.
There are plenty of the bad ones.
Exactly. Do you know what yesterday was?
I don't know anything, apparently, no.
Jesus, Laura. Yesterday was Groundhog Day.
Oh, see, that's because I don't give a shit.
Well, most people don't, but for anybody out there who's not in the United States, we rely every year on February 2nd for a rodent to come out and see his shadow or not, which will foretell whether we have 6 more weeks of winter or not. Okay, now...
Only in America.
Yeah, and it's Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, okay?
To boot, right.
To boot. I would actually go and watch this phenomenon, but it's like on all these little off-road roads that you go from 55 to 25 to 35.
Yeah, and it's far enough of a drive.
It takes 8 hours to get there.
Yeah, it's if it was a couple hours, it might be funny to just go and see the people.
I'm not driving 8 hours there.
But 8 hours to see a damn groundhog, no.
Anyway, he did not see his shadow this year, so that means we're going to have an early spring. Okay. And by the way, it's very rare for him not to see his shadow. He has only seen his shadow 13 times in the past 133 years.
And it's the same groundhog, I'm sure, right?
Oh, God, no, they've replaced him. If you look it up on Wikipedia.
Okay, so this is a really stupid question. Okay. Do they put the groundhog in the ground and wait for him to pop back out, or do they just hope one pops out?
No, he's got his own little prefab tree stump that, they open the door and he's in there.
But what I'm saying, though, is do they put him in there a few hours beforehand?
Well, of course.
Okay, I was going to say, because you can't really depend on him. Could you imagine?
It's a rodent, Laura.
I know he'd be like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
And
I told you it was a stupid question.
And I tell you, I do recommend Bill Murray and Groundhog Day. That is one of my favorite all-time movies.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Groundhog Day. So, did I give the Kool-Aid recipe? No. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Elizabeth C. Gives us our Kool-Aid recipe today. Okay. And a lot of people, apparently, they play catch up. They just find us. Okay. She's apparently on the Dangly Balls episode. Okay.
Okay.
She says pineapple Kool-Aid, but I don't think that exists.
Ooh. I've never heard of it.
I don't know. I quit drinking Kool-Aid a long time ago. Maybe they came up with it.
Maybe they did, yeah.
I don't know. If not, pineapple juice and maybe green apple Kool-Aid, a little bit of it. And you put in some Captain Morgan pineapple rum.
Anything Captain Morgan's good.
And here's the good part. You put in some large tapioca pearls. You mix to taste and you add the pearls just before serving, and it's called Old Dangly Balls.
So apparently you just put in 2 pearls.
I guess so. The man has a drink named after him now. I almost didn't approve it, but it's fitting.
Oh my God. Speaking of dangly balls, my friend Sherry was saying that, did you ever see those dangly balls people put in the back of their truck?
Yes.
She was saying we should get a pair of saggy ones, gold plate them because, of his gold plated
Oh, I have
seats.
gold. I have gold.
And then we could each sign a ball.
Nice. We can make it a Christmas ornament for your tree next year. We could mass produce them and sell them.
We could mass produce dangly ball Christmas ornaments.
Well, we could make them so that the women or whoever's listening can hang them off their rearview mirror. That would be funny too.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
What were you going to say? You had a gold plated what?
I said I have gold spray paint at home.
Well, there you go.
That we could. I'm going to have to look into this. Tractor Supply, here I come.
For dangly balls. Because nothing says Christmas, right?
Like dangly balls.
Like dangly balls.
Okay, moving on.
And the next time we go to a pop-up bar, instead of stealing an ornament, we'll put one up.
We could do that.
We could hang.
We didn't steal it.
We permanently
borrowed it to keep a memory alive. Okay. See, you can pretty much write anything off.
That's true.
And I'm sure that all that stuff went in the garbage can.
Oh, yeah. I think they really expected people to take stuff because there was just so much crap hanging there.
Christmas exploded. It threw up everywhere.
It literally did.
I had an elf yell at me. It will be in my brain forever.
I just wish
with a megaphone.
I just wish I would have recorded that.
Okay, we are going to move on to some pending posts and things. Okay. Diane H had an interesting question. She says, "Hi, ladies. I do have a question regarding Little Man's sermons. Did he follow a schedule of sermons, or did he just, here it's in quotes, preach off the top of his tiny head? I know I'm not using the correct word, schedule, but I can't think of the right one right now. As a very recent former member of church, secretary of the United Methodist Church, our pastor would receive a monthly schedule of suggested passages and songs for him and the liturgist. Example would be passages for New Year's, Easter time, Memorial Day, 4th of July, etc. So she's just curious if he had something like this, or was it more like you never knew ahead of time what he would be spewing? Thanks, love you both." Okay, well, Diane, as always, when the holidays and stuff would roll around, it would be mentioned. Like Christmas. Every Christmas it would roll around, and those facts would be thrown out there about this time of year, the most suicides happen because people aren't happy, and you have to buy stuff, and you have to participate even when you don't want to. But current events also played a big part on what was happening. Okay. Let's see. I am going to go to something else. Okay. That I took a screenshot of, okay? Now, this is off of their official page, Laura, off of their official Facebook page, okay? And it reads because, and see, this says yesterday at like 11:15 a.m., but I think I did it a couple days ago. I'm not sure. But it says, are you ready to hold on to your hat?
Oh, God. Go ahead.
President Trump is now working on enacting the last half of the 7-year plan that was signed in 1993. Remember, after it was signed in 1993, it was then stopped 3.5 years later and has remained shut down for 21 years. Okay?
The hell does that even mean?
Well, see, when we joined, it was 3.5 years. Everything was...
Oh, until the end of the world.
Till all of this shit was going to hit the fan.
Gotcha.
Well, you can only spend so many years there and here 3.5 years before you're going, wait a minute,
Something's
I've been here
up.
for 6, I've been here for
Right.
7, I've been here for 8. And when the masses get a little riled up, that's when little man would come up with shit. Time starts and stops, remember?
That's right. That magical timeline.
Well, I think, thinking back again, I think this is maybe where he caught on to the idea of what he could do with time, okay? Because people are stupid and will believe anything that spews out of his screwed up little mouth, right?
Okay.
So he would constantly preach that time was starting and stopping, starting and stopping.
Okay.
And so sometime this week, he put on their official page that, 21 years later, Trump is in his prophecies. Do you get this?
Oh, dear.
President
Lord.
Trump is in his prophecy.
Oh, my God.
You know what? I'm going to have
So wait, so time started again?
Well, yeah. They have 3.5 years left. Again.
Ooh,
'Cause
this is
see,
a good countdown.
Because it says enacting the last 7 of the 7-year plan, okay, in 93. But then in 96, sometime through 96, he proclaimed that the brakes have been put on it. And now 21 years later, Laura, Trump is making the prophecy happen again. Do you see this? Like I said, this is an excerpt of the week from the January 2019 edition of their newsletter. Do you see that?
God. Can you imagine the sermon they had on that?
I don't want to.
But I'm just saying, could you imagine him going off on that about how it started again?
He always does that. Okay. One other thing that I had to take a screenshot off of their official page, okay? Mm-hmm. This is kind of lengthy, but you need to listen to it because this is the kind of bullshit that flows out of his mouth, and you just have to go, what?
Okay.
Okay. This is an excerpt from the 15th book of Little Man. Okay? Chapter number 5, verse number 91. Okay, and verse number 91 is like 15, 20 sentences. Isn't a verse like...
A verse is a sentence or two. Yeah.
Okay.
But he's little man. He just... No concept.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
But first off, start rejoicing. Yes. In the fiery furnace or wherever you're planted. Whatever is assigned to you to do, rejoice in it. And if you've got something that you simply can't handle, then get with your counselors and work it out to where you can handle it. You may have to build something to keep the smoke out, but you can build something to keep the smoke out and the heat out, right? I mean, that's what knowledge is given to you for, to use it.
To keep smoke up.
Use your head to do your job. Then you can rejoice in what you're doing. But work out your problems. If you can't work them out, get with the priests. They don't eat pork here. So they've got knowledge to work out your problems. Praise God. Applause. But you will have problems. You're gonna have trials. Praise God for them, right? This is my test, and I'm going to prove I can overcome it. Right? 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 Right?
Bravo!
No,
Wait, can I just say, first of all, I love how that's one verse.
okay.
I love how it's a verse.
Laura,
And
if you were looking at this in the punctuation and
I
run-on sentences.
I'll get a migraine. I don't want to look at that. But I love how, is it the priests are smart because they don't eat pork?
Yes.
I love it.
Wait a minute. The priests are smart because they don't eat pork. Rejoice in your problems, Laura. It's your test from God.
Oh, my.
Okay, that I just thought that was hysterical.
And I like how now, is that from, does he have his own book in the Bible? Or is that just like
he's writing his own books. He's like up to 20 something.
But his books are kind of like a Bible with verses and chapters and like a Bible does.
It's his sermons. His sermons are the Book of Little Man. Because now his name eventually means he who rules is God.
Right.
So he's leveled himself with God. So now, the Book of Little Man is just like additions, like new Bibles that are coming out. This is the word you live
by.
by.
Of a narcissist.
Okay. Here we go back to somebody contacting me.
Okay.
Okay. LaQuinda J, she says, I just found Little Man's podcast. Didn't make it past the first 2 minutes and 28 seconds.
Oh, honey, I got to explain. Oh, yeah.
Hold on. The improper English and complete bullshit was too much for me to do.
Well, can I just jump in with what I did this week? I couldn't even get through one side of the X-rated tapes.
Can you imagine being forced to sit there and listen to them like live?
No, I could not. I have never in my life wanted to grab a screwdriver and just puncture my fucking eardrums. I mean...
For the rest of your life, did you hear what I read in his voice as I was reading it?
Oh my God. This man is just... I mean, the best comedians in the world couldn't make this shit up.
I'm wondering if he actually wrote that passage that I just said, or if it just spewed from his mouth during his sermon. I mean, Diane asked about whether he follows a schedule. Well, I think he just follows whatever's coming out of his mouth and is going to shock people, or what can I make them do? I mean, he might have a nugget there that he...
Well, I'll tell you what, the tapes that I listened to, I started listening to one of the X-rated tapes. And man, this guy's getting off on it.
Okay, I was gonna say,
you backing me up here?
Would you like to talk about that now, and I can get back to what I have, or
well, just no. Since you have your book out, go ahead and we'll get back.
I mean, we can do either.
Care. We're just like looking at each other. It'll take 10 minutes for us to decide. Oh,
okay. Tom O. He's a big listener. He says, hold the hell up. That bastard is saying that Satan created the Holocaust to kill off short dick man's ancestors? Millions and millions died, and he's taking credit? What in fresh hell kind of narcissism is this? I'm speechless.
Bingo.
Well, let's just say that Lil Man is one of the most narcissistic that I've ever looked back and went, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think I lent the book to neighbor Marie. She wanted, this was even before we started this stuff. Mm-hmm. And the one about the Holocaust, why did it really happen?
I saw it, so we might have it.
I don't know.
Or ask Marie, because we need to do an episode and actually read from that.
I'm not reading from it.
I'll read from it.
I
listened to these bullshit tapes for over an hour and a half. An hour and a half I will never get back, mind you.
You got to hear not only Lil Man's voice, but you got to hear Pedophile Elder's voice, too.
Oh, God.
Are they both not seriously creepy?
Creepy doesn't begin to describe it.
Imagine having to listen to that every
I just wish
day.
we could actually play these tapes so people could get the full benefit, of what the hell he sounds like.
Okay. Well, they can find. I mean,
They can,
they've got
that's true.
Roku,
That's true. Well,
YouTube.
that's true. He has that
They have
thing
live
on YouTube.
sermons.
He has this little cartoon on YouTube.
They've got radio stations. You could send for they'll probably send you a free DVD or Blu-ray. Get you hooked.
Oh.
Get you hooked.
Oh God, what else do you have?
Catherine N. She says, so I've been watching the Netflix documentary called Abducted in Plain Sight.
Oh, don't get me started on that one.
It took place in a very LDS family house and community. She goes on to say, I am crazy shocked at how non-religious folks are by this situation, what happened, and how it happened, etc. Even in my huge true crime community is astounded by the family's blind eye.
Exactly.
How could they not have seen the signs? Finally, she goes on to say, I guess the LDS thing wasn't tattooed on the perpetrator's head. But yeah, that's how it works most of the time.
Have you seen that documentary or show or whatever the hell it's called? Have you seen it?
No, it's on my list of I need to watch this, but where the hell am I going to find the time?
God. This dude was a straight up pedophile, right? And he's basically, I don't know if he went to jail or to some kind of therapy or whatever it was, but he comes back and he tells the family that part of his therapy is to lay in bed with their daughter.
I'd be like, hell the fuck no, get the hell out of here.
And they said, okay.
How old was this girl?
Oh shit, she was maybe like 12.
Gee, would you let Sammy lay in bed with some dude?
I would hack his fucking nuts off if
There
he
you
asked that.
go. He wouldn't have a chance to get dangly balls.
He wouldn't have any balls.
Actually, you have to whack the wee-wee off. Sorry, guys. You can whack the balls off all you want.
Oh my God. And then they didn't want to report him or didn't want to say anything because they didn't want to offend him.
People are stupid, Laura.
And the dad, one time they were driving and the dad jacked him off.
Jacked him off as in made him mad or as in put his hand in his pants?
Put his hands in his pants.
Oh
jacked him
my
off.
God.
So you got to watch this documentary. These people, these parents are pretty special. Let me tell you what.
I don't know what to tell you on that one.
I mean, the title's perfect, like in plain sight. I mean, this pedophile just literally, they didn't report, he kidnaps her. They don't report her missing for like days.
Okay, we'll let people watch this. We'll have a discussion on Facebook. But Catherine's point, I think, was that the cult still exists today. People ask me, is this place still out there? Is it still going on? And it's like, hell yeah. And it's literally going on in plain sight. Like I said, I have the opportunity to still be able to contact people. A lot of them have relatives that are still in, and they secretly talk to their relatives and stuff, right? I don't really think they have the travel agency anymore. I do know that their publishing is another entity. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then they actually have the health food store in that town that is open to the public as well. And episodes back, I told you that they've relaxed the dress code because they're told to more fit in.
Oh, because they stood out too much.
Right. Okay. You know as well as I do, being a pharmacist, that there are some natural things that work.
Right.
There are things to this day that I will use or do rather than go to the doctor and, hey, I'm better. Mm-hmm. Other things I've tried and I'm like, no, that's bullshit.
Right.
But the town is embracing of them now because I guess they're seeming more normal outside the gates.
Gotcha.
The health food store is the town uses it. I mean, there's several other health food stores, but some of them stand out more than others. They probably have, organic produce.
Gotcha. So they're like a productive member of society. They're
that store at least.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So if the store's not bad, well, then these people might not be too bad.
Right. And, we did the fair for years, and I guess that didn't work to make them like us, quote unquote. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's all in plain sight right there. And I think that's another reason that he bought up all of the land around the original acreage so that nobody could really see what goes on. We discussed in one episode about the trailers that burnt down. I don't know if it was actually on the original acreage or if it was in one of the trailer parks. But it was enough that first responders thought shit was odd because they kept them off the property for hours trying to say we have it under control. It's the fire's out. And a lot of times they think that they're above the law and that they're above authorities. And they probably thought if they stood there at locked gates long enough and kept telling them to go away, that they would go away. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But there's some people, I guess, that see through the bullshit and decided, I guess, we're not going away until you let us in. I don't know what transpired. I don't know what agencies were out there other than, fire department, EMS. I don't know what jurisdiction it would have fallen. I mean, I can imagine and who would have been out there, but yeah, there's bad apples out there, Laura, but guess what?
What?
There's some good ones too.
There are a few good ones.
There's a lot of good ones.
Like you said, you got to look for the good ones.
You have to look for the good ones. And the shitty thing is, Laura, is the good ones that actually try and make a difference a lot of time are sabotaged by the bad ones. Ain't that shitty?
Yeah, it is.
Don't even get me worked up on that one. What?
Nothing. I'm just laughing.
Okay, I'm almost done with my stuff, but yeah, let's say Crystal C. Okay. Mm-hmm. And she sent a link. I didn't actually see if the link works or not, but I'm going to post it, okay?
Okay.
But she says, the Justin Bieber reference made me laugh. The cult wasn't that far off with trying to get that celebrity endorsement. Here is an article about the evangelical megachurch Hillsong, of which Bieber is a high-profile member. I heard about them on another podcast being discussed as a cult-like group.
Well, how about that?
See, Low Man wasn't far off trying to snag him.
We were making fun of him. We shouldn't have.
He joined some weird-ass cult. All right. Come on.
Does anyone even care what he does anymore?
I don't know. I just find life funny. You know what I mean? Shayna A, she gave us, she thought of us with the words you couldn't say, and she gave us a god calendar, okay? And it's sexy gods for each month.
Oh, you mean like sexy, like Greek and Roman gods?
Yes.
Things?
But they're sexy looking, so.
Oh, no.
And Amanda H, I wanted to give her a shout out last week. She says, Deb, I'm the one who created that ghost hunters meme you were referencing about them talking to ghosts in German castles from the 1400s. She's like, oh my fucking God, I feel famous. Here's the original post. And I looked at this and this was the original post that I saw.
That's so funny.
So I don't even remember
is that weird?
Where I saw it. See, look. They're talking to a 14th century ghost, and apparently he's speaking in English. Come on, that only makes sense.
Of course it makes sense.
And that, I guess, takes care of my shit.
Oh, so we're moving on to the X-rated tape.
I can't believe you,
It is time I will never get back in my life. I literally sat there with a bottle of wine, and I could not make it through one whole side of the tape.
I know. I looked at how you didn't even make it halfway through.
I couldn't, because normally if you're giving a talk or a speech or a lecture or whatever, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end.
And sometimes a conclusion after the end.
Which
in case people...
You wrap it up.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
In conclusion.
There, like I said, I only made it halfway through, but he just rambled on about the same thing. Then he went back, talked about the same thing again. Went back. He should have just recorded it, hit rewind, play, because that's all it was. So I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm listening to this whole tape when it's the same shit.
Okay, now, Laura, this maybe not this one. Like I said, when I left, I packed a box of this propaganda and thought maybe I might need it someday. And the X-rated tapes were like, yeehaw, you know?
Right.
And I only had 4 of them. But now I forget where I'm going with this bullshit. Can you imagine? Oh, it was the absolute first time the men and the women were completely separated.
Was for one of the first X-rated
The
sermon.
very first X-rated sermon.
Now, let me ask you this: was it advertised as such, or was it once you guys were there?
It was leaked, and we're using that in quotes.
Okay.
Because sometimes you want shit leaked.
Gotcha.
But it was leaked that this was going to be a very different kind of sermon.
Oh shit! It was different, all right.
And that the men and the women were going to be separated because it contained, I want to use the word sensitive. It contained sensitive information that could not be really given over the pulpit in mixed company.
That's not the word I would use, but okay.
So let me tell you, the week or two leading up to it was, I don't even know if exciting was the word, okay? But, we were all given instructions that, the men were to go to services at, I don't remember if it was normal time or an hour early. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I believe we went to my feast trailer, me and a bunch of my friends, and talked about what the hell's going on. But it got time for the men to be out and the women to go in.
Now, could you see the men coming out? Could you see their faces?
This is before they had separate doors for men and women, clean and unclean.
Gotcha.
All that. The look of confusion, the look of horror, the look of what the hell did I just listen to? I wish I could put into words what these men pouring out of the sanctuary looked like.
See, I can imagine.
And there was no high-fiving, there was no fist bumping, there wasn't a smile. It was more like, what the fuck did I just listen to, okay? And we're watching all these men leave the sanctuary, and you're kind of nervous about what you're going to hear because
it's all been hyped up.
It's been hyped up, and this got to be something big. Look at the expressions on these men's faces. And the men weren't looking at any of us. It's like they were looking at the ground, Laura. Like they were afraid to look at us. And I don't remember a single woman that was standing waiting to go into the sanctuary, walking up to their husband. They just all bypassed us, and they either went to cars to go home because they're single guys. Mm-hmm. I think Kenny might have gone to the feast trailer. Maybe we took separate cars. I don't remember because I don't think my boys went. I think they were so young that they would have been more of a distraction to him.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that's why me and my friends were hanging out, is because we had kids. And it was, anyway, I think we did take separate cars, and he took the boys home. But that's all the interaction I had with him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Was, here's kids, strapping them in their car seats and gone. So, yeah, it was definitely hyped up and interesting. And we're all sideways talking, and you see their eyes. They're not even looking at us and shit, And anyway, you listened to one of the X-rated tapes.
Oh, sweet Moses, man. I'll tell you what. Oh, fuck. Do you want to read the title, or you can read...
Okay.
I mean, that writing's so tiny. This is the tape that I started listening to.
And it's maybe, this is giving you a lot. This is 1/4 listen to on side 1.
Right.
I don't give you 45 minutes because the entire thing is only an hour and a half if you listen from both sides. Oh. I think you might have lasted 15 minutes.
I have 3 pages of notes front and back.
Okay. I'm going to read this, part of this, and we're going to, okay. This was August 1st of 2001, weekly Sabbath at 10:30 a.m.
Alrighty.
Pedophile elder, he spoke first, and his subject was time is short. Go, Laura.
Oh, okay.
You listened to Pedophile elder.
I did. I only got to listen to a little bit because the tape got, all of a sudden there was like this click, and then there was nothing. There was like dead space for like 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden Little Man jumped on. But I did get to hear a little bit from Pedophile elder. And he was saying that how short time, and I'm writing this word for word. So these people, didn't use proper English. So
Back to, what she
Right,
said. She
so-
could only listen for 2 point.
right. So
2
I
minutes,
wrote this
28
down.
seconds.
I kept hitting like rewind, play, rewind. So I could write this down word for word.
And I had brought you a tape player long ago and far away because these are actually on
Cassette tapes.
that most of our audience has probably never even seen.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So Pedophile elder goes on to say, how short time we have to overcome. It is very serious, and these events are taking place right now. I spent hours on the computer just keeping up with the different little details that are going on. God's law has been set in motion. I'm like, I bet you spent hours on the computer looking up kiddie porn. It's probably what you were doing on the computer.
We can't accuse people of stuff. You can think it.
I thought out loud. How's that?
Right. We can't
thinking out
accuse
loud.
people. Well, you have to remember, computers back then were very different than they are now. And like I said before, Kenny's made a lot of money. And we honestly were one of the first in the cult to actually have a home computer. And we had dial-up.
Oh, I remember that.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And God help you if somebody picked up the phone to use
Yep.
it because it knocked you right the hell off.
Yep, I remember that.
But yeah, I don't know if the internet had all that crap back then, did it?
Who knows? But that was the first thing that just came to mind when he's like, I spent hours on the computer. I'm just thinking in the back of my mind.
Kiddie porn.
I bet you did.
Anyway.
Okay, you're gonna finish. Is there more to the title, or do you want me to move on? To
Well,
the
that
event?
was just Pedophile Elder and his title to his sermon.
Okay. Which, like I said, there was only about 5 minutes of it, and then the tape went blank.
Okay. Now, it goes on the title to say, Little Man. Diseases placed in the body when we sin do not go away. And then there's a semicolon, which I don't think there should be a semicolon there, okay? According to scientific records, they damage our bodies and the bodies of our children for years. And then it says, X-rated, not to be listened to in mixed company. All rights reserved.
You know what's really sad is that title makes sense to me after listening to this. I'm like, that's exactly what he talked
You
about.
probably listened to all of 15 minutes.
God.
God.
Okay. Well, like I said, it got Pedophile Elder got cut off. And there was like this big gap of just like silence. Then it just started up with Little Man in the middle of a sentence. Okay. So I have no idea what he was talking about. But you were mentioning about how homophobic they are.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. So it starts up. This is what I hear. Little Man's first words are, I still think they call them queers in Oklahoma.
That is so bad.
I was just like, you have got to be shitting me.
I told you they don't like gay people. I guess unless it's women.
Oh my God. Even though God says love one another, we won't.
Well, it's love one another unless your neighbor is gay, unless they're black, unless they don't go to the same church as you, unless they're poor, unless they're from another country.
Right.
I mean,
Yep. Just make up your own stuff.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. Okay. So now you were saying.
Well, you remember, he's the Okie from Muskogee. I mentioned
true.
that.
That is true.
So
he starts talking about the laws that keep parasites from getting into your body.
We're talking parasites like...
He loves parasites. He said that word I don't know how many times.
I didn't...
He loves the word parasite.
Okay.
And you know what else he loves? Instead of the word vagina, it's virgina.
V-I-R?
Virgina.
Oh my God!
Yep. Which I was cracking up every time he said... Which, first of all, why is he using the word vagina in a sermon at a,
Well, maybe he's trying to be correct, because I remember the word pussy being used a hell of a lot.
Or I guess could have said like hoo-ha.
Or sin hole. Sin hole.
Oh, shit. Okay. Virgin. I guess that's him being, classy, right?
And yeah, and you're supposed to find out.
Sin hole. Oh
It's
my
a
God.
sin hole. And like apparently women are taught not to masturbate out there because that's ringing the devil's doorbell. Okay. Fingers are for rings, not ringing your own bell.
Don't ring your own bell.
Fingers are for rings, not for ringing your own bell.
I've never heard it called that. Oh my God.
The devil's doorbell.
The devil's doorbell.
Yeah, remember,
Oh.
ask the important questions, gentlemen. If she masturbates, she's not for you.
Is she ringing the devil's doorbell?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Keep going.
Seriously, like this shit couldn't be made up. Like the best writers out in LA could not make this shit up for a movie.
Keep going.
Oh my God. So then he's talking about, I guess this was after one of these sermons that are X-rated. Okay. And one of the women was saying that she felt uncomfortable listening to this, I guess with her children or her husband or whoever she was allowed to listen to it.
It was very uncomfortable to listen to, even to watch the video the very first time. I mean, we were all sideballing each other going, I mean, you're literally going, is this real? I mean, are we on like hidden camera to see how we react type?
Oh, I couldn't believe this shit that I was hearing. So he says, this woman in the cult asked her husband if she had to listen to that because it was too hard on her delicate ears.
Yeah.
And then he chuckles, okay? They don't want their children hearing or seeing this. Okay, so then he says, I came from their house last week and they had the TV on and the same words, well, maybe not the word dick, but the rest of it was being used and much worse than what I'm bringing out here. This is, let's see here. This is a little bit ridiculous when you don't want to hear the sermons that will help to turn the child away from this sort of thing. But take them home and let them watch television that brings out nakedness, sin, fucking, sucking, and what else does it bring out?
I forgot about fucking sucking.
Fucking and sucking.
He liked that phrase, fucking and sucking, a lot.
Yep. I'm like, what the hell were these people watching?
Well, apparently, one sermon, he was appalled. He walked into somebody's house and he watched a murder happen. He watched a rape happen. He watched two people getting beat almost to the point of death. And Laura, I'm sitting here during this sermon thinking, where the hell did he go?
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, what the hell is he watching?
No,
This fucking sucking.
I thought he walked into somebody's house and witnessed a murder.
Oh, you mean a real one, not something on TV.
Right. Because the way
Oh.
he's given this sermon the one day, it was like, yeah. And then it was on TV. And that's when he started bashing TV and we shouldn't watch TV.
Oh, God.
Read on.
So then he says, listening to the sermons prevents them from sinning, and it makes no sense not to listen. Even to an idiot, it wouldn't make any sense if you just pay attention to what's being said and done here. What we're trying to do is to make it as detestable as it really is out there.
He just said a whole bunch of nothing.
Oh, he said a whole bunch of nothing this whole damn tape. Then he goes on, okay, I'm going to say this sentence, and then I'm going to have to stop, and we're going to discuss, because there's a bunch of stuff that is wrong with it, okay?
Okay.
There's women whose cocks are being eat up inside with these goddamn parasites.
Well, women don't have cocks.
Thank you, number one. Number one, thank you. They're being eat up.
Well, that's bad English.
Thank you, number two.
Improper English. Because, see, I just use bad English for improper English. But go ahead.
Thank you. And goddamn parasites. Or let's play the Bible game, because they play the Bible game, right?
Right.
Do not take the Lord's name in vain.
Well,
Just saying. Just saying.
but see, they actually use God's hallowed name, and we don't say that here on the show. So when he uses the words goddamn,
Oh, he's not really taking it in vain. That's his little way around it.
Right.
Gotcha.
He is just repeating the curses that the world repeats, and it's okay because he's not actually using God's real name when he's cursing things.
Okay. So he goes
Look up
on.
the Sacred Name movement, guys. They're not the only one that uses the name. So.
Okay. Moving on.
Moving on.
He says that you want to go and stick your damn dick in and defile yourself even more, and you don't want to hear it. And the prophet spoke about this.
He must have gone back and asked him about it.
What prophet? What?
He went back and asked the prophets. What's the biggest thing going on down, here 2,000 years ago? They're sleeping with my women. What do I do?
They got parasites.
They got parasites.
He loves parasites.
He loves a lot of things.
Oh, Lord. Fucking sucking and parasites. That's the title of the episode.
Fucking sucking and parasites. I was thinking more along the line of ringing the devil's doorbell, but
no,
I
was what was it? No, it wasn't glory.
Keep going.
What was it called?
The glory hole.
Not the glory hole. The sin. No, was it sin hole?
I don't know. Keep reading.
Oh, so then he goes, "You're gonna flip when I tell you this."
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm quite sure I am, little man. So he's talking about the fall of the world, okay? And he goes, the guy's thinking, this is not going to hurt if I go out here and screw this bitch, this whore that's had 49 other dicks stuck in her and full of diseases and parasites.
Oh, you're making my skin crawl. Oh my God, I'm hearing it in his voice and I'm looking up on the stage, hearing it flash back.
Shall I continue?
Yes,
okay.
please.
So the guy's saying to himself, let me drink another beer and it won't be so bad then.
Beer goggles.
Heck, give me 2 more maybe. And he chuckles. Enough to where you can finally get between her legs and stick it in there where it can crawl up in you, and maybe you'll feel that sensation later on when it starts rotting in you.
I don't even know where to begin. I'm telling you, we were horrified listening to this.
I was horrified. I'm sitting there chugging my wine.
I literally remember, I've got goosebumps all over me. I remember sitting there, and that came out, and what would your brain be thinking as you're sitting in a house of God and you're watching this on a monitor and that pops out of the leader's mouth?
I honestly would be thinking, what the hell is this?
What the hell am I doing here?
I got nothing. I got nothing. So then he goes on telling about how this is talked about in Genesis 3.
Oh, he always fits it in.
So I went to see what Genesis 3 was.
Okay.
And that's the story of Adam and Eve.
Okay.
Which I don't remember any fucking sucking or parasites.
I remember a snake and an apple.
There's a snake and an apple, that's it.
And you know what? That's why today when men ask women what they want to eat, they're afraid to say. Last time they picked something, we doomed mankind.
Oh, shit. Okay, so now he's also talking about women that are, I guess, having an affair or they're being impure, and
I can tell you it came down the gossip pike that you're not supposed to listen to.
Right.
But little man's women, some of them were caught being not faithful. So this is where these sermons, I think,
that would make sense,
originated from, and why the demon bells were brought out, and why men and women aren't supposed to be together. He was trying to keep his little flock.
Gotcha, that makes sense. Okay, so he's talking about a mixture.
Of righteousness and evil?
No, of like sperm and something else.
Oh, by the way, I do remember, Laura, that every man you have ever slept with, you carry his DNA in your sin sack.
And parasites.
Yes.
Don't forget. Remember, parasites, everything, every sentence from now on has to end with parasite. Because that is what, I swear to God, every paragraph had at least parasite in it one time.
Oh my God.
Okay, so he's talking about there's a mixture that takes place, and we can see it in the scientific world, in their language and in their literature.
Okay, please tell me what we're looking at.
It's in this mixture.
Okay.
This is a mixture that takes place. A foreign agent comes into the woman's body and is created there because she broke the law that says, if you do this, you're going to start a war in your body. You're going to bring in sin, you're going to bring in disease, you're going to bring in a curse into your body.
Yep. Yeah, that's what they would tell you. And by the way, you could totally be a perfect person, Laura, and something's wrong with your kid. You didn't sin, but in the Bible, Like somebody 7 generations ago could have sinned, and that's why your kid is the way it is. Because sin taints your family line up to the 7th generation. Then they can start new again, and God will start loving them.
You know, in this sermon, don't use the word taint.
Means something completely different.
Means something completely different in this sermon.
Did they actually use that?
No, he didn't. But that was just like, as soon as you said that, I'm like, that's not the right word to use.
And for all y'all out there that don't know what taint is,
go on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says, now with this in mind, go back to Numbers 5. Okay, I'm going to show you what takes place in a woman's body when she opens her legs to a second man.
Okay.
The first man, her body will adjust to, and this is a proven fact.
Okay.
Proven where and adjusting to what? I have
Wait a minute.
no
Don't
idea.
we have like citing of where we got our quotes
the
and
scientific facts?
Yeah. What's the thing in the back of the book called? It's the front's the table of contents. What's the back where they're citing the stuff?
Like the index?
Will it be an index of reference? The reference section.
Reference section. Well, usually you have like oh god, I'm drawing a blank.
Anyway, keep talking.
Okay. Let's see here. So her body will adjust to it. All the doctors know this, and all the scientific world knows this. Her body will adjust to that man's semen, and she will become one with that man.
Okay, you're creeping me out. Keep
Your
reading.
face is just like aghast. She can't become one with 2 men. It's impossible. And here's where the war begins, where the curse starts. Okay? So, if she's the second man. Now, what if she's like not married? Or is she not allowed to have sex if she's not married?
Well, see, if you're raped by anybody, okay, your rapist
Well, no,
gets first shot at you because he defiled you. Okay?
Right.
But now you're defiled and you can't marry anybody, even though it's not your fault. Now imagine you got married and like there was one girl I was semi-friends with, and she was married to one of the leader's sons. And of course, he's a teenage punk. He wanted a piece of ass. And they were married all of 2 weeks, and he left the cult. And that poor woman was not allowed to remarry for the rest of her life.
What?
Well, she's got another
That's
man's
right.
DNA in
That's
her.
right. That's right. You can't have second man.
The only exception to that rule, Laura, is you were married to Greg, okay?
Right.
Greg died. If Greg has a brother, that brother can claim you, or you can marry that brother because it's kind of the same DNA.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well,
Okay.
that God said it's fine. Look in the Bible.
Oh, so he's going back to Numbers 5, right?
Okay.
So he's talking about the book of Numbers. Then he says, the way this is written here, it kind of hides what it's really saying.
Well, of course.
Which basically means, I don't know what the hell that says, or I don't like what it says. I'm going to just give you some other bullshit.
Girls, you know how many hours I listened to this man and had no idea what he was trying to convey across the pulpit because his words don't make... I just was be like... It just falls out, and it's like, really?
So he's talking about the woman being unfaithful, right?
Yes.
He says, pap smears don't always show it. What the fuck?
He's talking about cervical cancer. You get cervical cancer from sleeping with more than one man.
Oh,
That's what gives you cervical cancer.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Sure. How do they find out? Because something irritates it later. You know what it is? It's rubbing your dick back and forth in there, and the same thing that caused it to begin with. But some other chemicals, too, that goes in it.
And you're quoting that little
I'm quoting him. This is word for word. Like I said, I hit rewind, play. I mean, I wrote down word for word.
Okay, one of my favorite sentences is, do you even science? So keep going.
So he says, this will be scientifically proven here in just a little bit.
By who? Him?
Sure, he's a doctor.
I forgot. Well, he's a doctor of bullshit. We already realized that.
And Deb, did you know this? Did you know that parasites still exist after the semen is gone?
I'm sure they do.
Semen creates the parasites. And in fact,
Wait a minute. You're telling me that men's semen morphs into something that is completely different that becomes a parasite?
It sure does.
They don't just die off.
They become parasites.
Why have I never heard this before? Except from Little Man.
apparently the whole medical world is just...
Oh my God, flashback. I remember nudging my friend going, oh my God, are you listening to this? Oh my God, are you listening to this? Can you imagine growing up in the cult as a woman and you've had no outside access to information and things?
And this is what you're being fed.
You'd believe it, wouldn't you?
Oh, Jesus.
Attack of the sperm that turns into
parasites.
Parasitic sperm.
Yep. Yepers. And it says it can't be burnt or frozen away.
Okay.
Burnt away?
Burnt from where?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. The sin of fornication or adultery, something that starts to take place in the woman's body, it starts to kill her from that moment that this takes place. The second man that enters her and drops semen inside of her. Something is given to this woman that if she has this in her body, this chemical will then react to it, and it doesn't curse it, but it makes it grow faster. So now she has chemicals in her body too. There's chemicals and there's parasites.
And reactions happening and all kinds of good shit.
Exactly.
Keep reading.
Let's see. They didn't have surgery at that time that I know of. So what took place then, this was before they tried to cut these curses out of the woman.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
The same thing that caused this is causing it today. Okay? So then he's reading another Bible verse. It says, this right here is mistranslated, and I haven't had time to work on it fully, but they're hiding something from us right here.
Yes. He doesn't know what they're hiding, Laura, but he knows they're hiding something. Always. You see, he had to make it fit his
agenda.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So then, let's see, he's talking about another Bible verse, and it says, this is another something else. This is another something else?
Yes.
This is another something else, something that is hid in, and we will find it. We're just working on it right now, but we will find it. They're working on it.
They're always working on it.
They're working on it. They're on the computer. They're working on it. They're trying to find out how this Bible really is being not translated properly.
Maybe that's why they got into that numerology bullshit.
Oh, my God. But let's just scholars have worked on the Bible. Scholars that have gone to college for decades.
But little man knows more. Him and his entourage of elders. Keep reading.
Dr. Littleman. Let's see here. Okay, so then this was one of the points where I'm just sitting there. I'm kind of like comatose listening to this. And I did like one of those like, what? He says, I'm thinking this has something to do with sex with animals here. And they hid it for some reason from us.
Oh, yeah, we get AIDS because some horny person had sex with a monkey, according to him. Or that must have been another tape, because you didn't hear that part.
I did not hear that part, but I did hear, instead of him saying aggression, it's ogression.
Well, yeah, that's probably in his Okie dictionary.
Ogression.
With Virgina.
Virgina? That's the title of the episode, Virgina. Okay. Let's see here. So he goes, back to strange chemicals inside the woman's body. They also gender strife, as one of the translations said.
What's a gender strife?
No idea. No idea. He did not go on to explain it.
Okay.
But he says, so here is a breeding program then, that the gods have set up that will actually have something to do with the human mind.
Didn't I tell you they had a breeding program in that one news article?
Right. And it says, with the children's mind, and here's where you can see the aggression coming forth. The terrible aggression that we're seeing in our children today, in schools where they go back with guns in their hands and start shooting the teachers and so forth.
Don't forget, girls are a menace too. Killer kindergartners.
That's right.
Sixth graders with rocket launchers.
Forgot about that. And he says, they are breeding a chemical mixture into the minds that should not be there.
Okay.
And that is the furthest that I got. And let me tell you what, I need a shower with some fucking Clorox.
Dr. Bronner's. You can use Dr. Bronner's. Wash away your sins.
Oh my God. I have never in my life.
Can you imagine hearing that voice every week?
No.
Can you imagine going home and your husband putting it in a tape player that plays it 24/7? I mean, it flips sides.
Oh my God.
When they put these tapes out, if it's exactly an hour long, each side of the tape is 30 minutes, so that when it gets to the end of the tape,
just automatically
it clicks
clicks.
and it starts playing the other side.
Oh,
I'm telling you, when Kenny would leave, I would be looking out the window, and as soon as I saw them lights hit the edge of the driveway and make a turn, I yanked that plug.
Oh, God, I don't blame you. So is the other side of this tape the same?
It's still the same sermon.
Oh, so I only have to finish listening to the one side.
No, you have to listen to the whole thing, and you've only listened to like a
Oh,
quarter
God.
of the first side.
I really got to do this?
Hey, that's up to
Oh, my God.
you. We should start a poll. Should Laura listen to the rest?
To the rest of the X-rated tapes. Oh, my God.
And you, hey, you made it probably 10, 15 minutes, and you have 3 more tapes past this one.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Well, you know what? Thank God next week there's a thing going on at the winery that my friend Katie and I are going to.
Okay.
So I can stock up on my wine.
There you go.
Because I am going to need some. I mean, it was just like, I just like gulp of wine. Listen to a little bit more, gulp of wine.
Most of us who spent time there can't listen to his voice. It is worse than nails on a blackboard.
Oh, yeah, I can
Screw
imagine.
you, little man.
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah. But did you have fun today?
Oh, I had a blast. Sure.
I still can't believe you didn't even make it halfway through one side of that. That just trips me out. I'm going to have to take a picture and let people decide how far you made it through the damn tape.
God. I'd say it was
Anyway.
more than half. It was more than half.
It was not. Because half of the sermon would have been one side of the tape.
But it's, I mean, not half of the sermon, half of the first side of the
Not
tape.
even close.
I did.
Not even close. All right,
Hey,
guys.
I should get credit just for listening to that damn bullshit.
I couldn't listen to it. That's why I left it here and told you good luck with it. I was not listening to it. Hell no. Hell no.
Ooh, got the heebie-jeebies,
I'm
man.
telling ya. And I can't believe that somebody sent me, this was a while back, the table of contents page of one of his books that has all his sermons in it, the Little Man series. And they're actually marked not that you're not supposed to study this book in mixed company on these pages because they're X-rated.
No, wait. Now, let's just remind everyone again that the stuff that I was reading that he said you were allowed or you were supposed to listen to with your children, right?
Same-sex children.
Same-sex children.
Yes.
But so that everything that he was talking about, the fucking and sucking, is okay to listen to with your child.
Apparently so. I
Oh
told
my
you I
God.
used to work with CPS, and I said something to the one day and how disturbing it was, and he said that unfortunately we live in America, and not only do we have freedom of speech and freedom of religion, they fall under both categories. And you can, I mean, just like the Nazis or anybody else, you can preach anything you want.
Apparently, freedom of being an idiot, too.
I'm supposing so, but how are we out of time again?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
I'm brain dead right now. I'm fried.
Screwdriver through the ear.
Oh, I'm telling you what, man. Oh.
I honestly don't know how you listen to and read all of this stuff. I mean, I find it hysterical that I spent all that time there and never read this shit. Anyway, guys, questions, comments, contact us. Anybody needs a ticket out of somewhere, contact me, you know.
Yeah, start a conversation about the tapes on Facebook.
Yeah, start a conversation on Facebook, guys. I'm always happy. I'm in full control of that. So, and sometimes if your shit doesn't pop up, it's because I'm saving it for the show here, for the episode. And if you see your stuff pop up on a Sunday before 7:00, know we're talking about you.
In a good way.
I guess so, in a good way.
In a good way.
Well, unless you're Little Man or Kenny or the bitch I love to hate or any of them
You got a
people out
list.
there.
You got a list.
Yeah, I got vendettas. Anyway, guys, it's been Deb.
And Laura.
And we'll talk at you next week, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.